Hi, so I read chapter one, Saving a Child, in the book The Life You Can Save. The only reason I've just read the first chapter is because now, after reading it, I'm definitely going to continue to read the book um, at a later time. It's very interesting because it really like digs at someone's soul, I guess you could say. Um, so it talks about how we would do anything in the world to save a child if they're dying, if they're at risk, whatever it may be. So if a child is drowning or if a child is in the middle of the road, nobody's paying attention, they need to go and rush and save them. But in the same voice, most people think that it's pretty useless to donate to a charity that would help support poverty, help bring children out of poverty. Um, so, in a way, we're willing to help children when they're drowning, but we're not willing to help them when they're drowning in the not literal terms. Um, some of the interesting points that are made, it talks about poverty, how much of the world isn't living in poverty, what is considered poverty. Poverty is considered someone who lives on $1.90 a day. That's crazy, I think. I don't know what I was expecting it to be, and I am not so fluent on the poverty levels or the financial state of the world, um, let alone the U.S. But I have some general knowledge. It also talks about how some people will spend millions and millions, our super rich people would spend millions of dollars on expensive yachts and um, boats and planes that could only seat a certain amount of people, like 30 people. Meanwhile, if they weren't in a privatized setting, those yachts, those boats could seat and hold hundreds of people. So I think it is something very interesting. It basically is about how we may use our money. And if we're coming to a more literal sense, a more relatable sense right now, one of the biggest points that stood out to me was how they talked about bottled water. Most of us, I'm not saying everyone, because I know some people live in where their drinking water is not safe, even in New Jersey. But most of us will spend money on bottled water when we can get that water from the tap in our own house for less than a penny. And a bottle of water costs us what, $1, $1.50. And if you're bougie in a sense, you're going to probably spend upwards of $2 or $3 on a bottle of water. But all of the things that we spend our money on are things that we want, not necessarily always needs. Is bottle? I mean, it really depends. Do you think bottled water is a need or a want? And depending on where you live, it could be a different idea. But how everyone spends their money, but people are not willing to help save a child who's in poverty. That's the ultimate theme of this chapter. And I, based on this chapter, I'm really intrigued to read the rest of the book and see what other things I'm missing out on in my life. And I can say that I do not fall victim, or I do fall victim to this. Like, I, I'm one that I usually would not really donate my money, I guess you could say, to children in need, and simply just because I claim or think that I have other things I need to spend my money on. But now it really makes me think, do I really need to spend my money on whatever it may be? So again, can't wait to read the rest of the book.